we were discussing from chapter 4, wherein we have been going through the conversation that took place between Uddhava and Vidura, wherein Uddhava, being requested by Vidura about the welfare of all the Yadavas, talks about the disappearance of Lord Krishna and the unfortunate condition of the Yadavas, and also remembers all the wonderful pastimes of Lord Krishna, and especially he is meeting with Lord Krishna, especially when Lord Krishna was about to leave from the surface of the earth at Prabhas. Then he says that being ordered by Lord Krishna, now I am on my way to Badrikashram. So that was the conversation. At that point of time, Parikshit Maharaj asked the question, why did Lord Krishna left behind Uddhava? It is not that Uddhava is not a Vrishni. He is also part of Vrishnis only. In fact, he is very close to Lord Krishna. He is the cousin brother only. Lord Krishna's father Vasudev, Uddhava's father Devabhaga, both are brothers. Why did he left him? The reason is Lord Krishna visited many places on the surface of the earth while he was around. But some places he could not go on his own, especially the Badrikashram. The sages are waiting for him. And also, now Lord Krishna's disappearance is happening suddenly. Many more devotees would be anticipating Lord's presence. In order to relieve them, Lord Krishna left Uddhava behind. Because Uddhava, in one sense, looks exactly similar to Lord Krishna. Uddhava understood the heart of Lord Krishna. He is almost same as Lord Krishna. So he can console those who are in pain after Lord Krishna's disappearance. So with that intention, Lord Krishna left Uddhava behind. So that was being discussed in the previous section number 28 to 32. In the last week, we discussed up to 32, wherein Lord Krishna telling Uddhava that there is a special message to the sages of Naranara and Rishis and also sages of Badrikashram. The message is that, so my dear Naranara and Rishi, I have come here, I have performed past tense for 125 years. Now I am disappearing. And I am also bidding farewell to all the different farms because they have come here to complete their activities. They are completed that. Now they have to go to their respective places. I am sending my dear friend Uddhava, who is very much attached to me, to your place. So with a message, and he will give the message, and he want to worship me there. Let him stay as long as he want to stay there. So that was the message to Naranara and Rishi for the sake of Uddhava. And also for Narana and Rishi and other sages of Badrikashram, the special message to them is the entire Uddhava Gita, which Lord Krishna spoke to Uddhava, which is supposed to be given to the sages in the Badrikashram, and which is also supposed to give the solace to Uddhava, because he's staying back in the absence of Krishna. He also feels pain of separation from Lord Krishna. In order to give him sufficient knowledge and detachment, Lord Krishna spoke the entire Uddhava Gita to Uddhava. So that was the background. Now, in one sense, Uddhava's story is over. Uddhava already went to Badrikashram. Now, what Vidura is doing in Vrindavan, that will be mentioned in the next 3-4 verses. With that, this chapter will be over. Then the next chapter will begin further activities of Vidura. So, text number 33 to 35, all 3 verses together. Some of you can unmute and repeat after me. Viduropi Uddhava Shrutva
Vidurupi Uddhava Shrutva
Krishnasya Paramatmana
Krishnasya Paramatmana
Kridayopatta Dehasya
Pridayopata Dehasya
Karmani Shlagitani Cha
Karmani Shlagitani Cha
Dehanyasam Cha Tasyaivam
Dehanyadasya Cha Tasyaivam
Dhiranam Dhairyavardhanam
Kiranam Dhairyavardhanam
Anyesham Dukkataram Anyesham Dushkarataram
अन्येषां दुष्करतरं
पशूनां विक्लवात्मनां
यूनां विक्लवात्मनाम्
आत्मानं च कुरु श्रेष्ठ
आत्मानां च कुरु श्रेष्ठ
कृष्णेन मनसेक्षितम्
स्नेन मनसेक्षितम्
ध्यायन् गते भागवते
अयन् गते भागवते
रुरोधा प्रेम विबला
रुरोदा प्रेम विप्लः. Text 33 translation. Vidura also heard from Uddhava about the appearance and disappearance of Lord Krishna, the Supersoul, in the mortal world, which is a subject matter.
Next verse. Read the three translations. Unable to hear you, Mataji. Hare Krishna. Someone else can read the other two translations.
The Lord's glory,
which is subject matter sought after with great perseverance by the great sages. Translation of 34. The Lord's glorious acts and his acceptance of various transcendental forms for the performance of extraordinary pastimes in the mortal world are very difficult for anyone other than his devotees to understand. And for the beast, they are simply a mental disturbance. 35. Understanding that he was remembered by Lord Krishna while quitting this world, Vidura began to cry loudly, overwhelmed by the ecstasy of love. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. So, in these three verses, so what is the response of Vidura is indicated. Sukadeva Goswami speaking to Parikshit Maharaj. O King Parikshit, hearing from Uddhava, glorious activities of Lord Krishna, the glorious activities of Lord Krishna, the Paramatma, who has a body for pastimes, and hearing of the disappearance of the Yadus, which increase the faith of the intelligent and is incomprehensible to the unintelligent person, who are like animals. Please kindly mute. So here one interesting thing is mentioned that Uddhava was hearing about the wonderful activities and pastimes of the Supreme Lord Sri Krishna. And also he heard especially about the disappearance of the Yadavas. It says that hearing of the disappearance of the Yadavas increases the faith of the intelligent. Dhairanam Dhairyavardhanam. The Dhira Purushas will become more and more convinced about Bhakti. So this is what we discussed. The Lord Krishna's close associates, there was no destruction for them. They all entered into Aprakata Dwaraka there in itself. That indicates the glorious nature of the Supreme Lord's associates. And it is incomprehensible to unintelligent person. Annesham Dushkarataram. For common people to understand what do you mean by in this Prakata Lila, Prakata Lila. In Mahabharata साफ साफ बता रहे, they all went to Prabhas and fought and killed each other mercilessly. अभी आप बोल रहे थे वो उधर गए नहीं और वो सब इन illusion है, ये सब क्या बकवास कर रहे. So like that they say, because they can't understand what is the purpose of Lord's, what is the intention of Lord and what is the purpose of Lord's various pastimes. Annesham Dushkarataram, because they are like the animals. Pashunam Viklava Atmanam, their mind is like that of the animals. It is not developed yet. So they can't understand Lord's disappearance pastimes. Hearing all these things, Vidura, overcome with love for the Lord, thinking that he was remembered by Lord Krishna, began to weep when Uddhava had departed. I mean, by the way, they were Lord spoke to Uddhava and Maitreya for quite some time. So in that conversation, there might have been a discussion about Vidura also. That Uddhava told to Vidura, and Vidura became very emotional. Yes, Lord Krishna remembered me, thinking that the Lord, I'm no one, and he remembered me, thinking that he became quite emotional. As he was crying like that, it's already sunrise in the morning, and Uddhava started for north. Uddhava left. Lord Krishna has permanently accepted a body because of his pastimes. He is dependent on his Leela Shakti. By that Shakti, his body appears and disappears. Whatever pastimes Lord Krishna performed, they are all manifestation of his Leela Shakti. By means of this Leela Shakti, the bodies of the Yadus were offered to the unmanifest form of Dwarka. That means all the Yadavas who are performing pastimes along with Lord Krishna for the last 125 years have entered into Aprakata Leela of Dwarka. That means they all disappeared. So they all became unmanifest and by entering into Aprakata Leela. And also hearing about giving up bodies in Prabhas, Vidura became firm in and Dhairya Vardhanam. Matlab, he heard about both what happened in Prabhas and what happened in Dwaraka. Then he is firmly convinced Lord's devotees are always with the Lord for the rest of eternity, whatever it may externally seems to be happening. So in that way. These disappearances are difficult to understand for others who are not devotees, such as yogis. The yogis cannot understand how the Lord can disappear in one place and giving up his bodies in another place as a show for the common people. So it is said that the Dwaraka Krishna had disappeared from the world vision in Dwaraka itself. In one sense, he did not even leave Dwaraka. The Dwaraka Krishna, the Devaki Nandan Krishna remained in Dwaraka entering into Aprakata, and all other Vishnu forms who entered into Krishna when Krishna appeared in this world in order to fulfill their missions, like Manvantara Avatara came because he is the protector of the Manvantara period. Shuradasha Vishnu came because he is the protector of that entire day of Brahma. And Yuga Avatara came. So like that, various avatars came, Naranara and Rishis came to kill Sahasra Kavach. So all these personalities went to Prabhas. And from Prabhas, they went to their respective abodes. So that is the understanding. So the yogis cannot understand how the Lord can disappear in one place. Lord disappeared, Dwarka Krishna disappeared in Dwarka itself, and giving up his bodies in another place. All the other forms of Vishnus, they all went to Prabhas and they gave up earth and they went to their respective places. Another place as a show for the common people. And for common people, Lord Krishna apparently left behind a material body there in Prabhas. That is to begin Kali Yuga. So like that. Because those people are not the devotees, they are called animals. Viklavatmana means those with disturbed minds. They cannot understand the Leela potency of the Supreme Lord. How Lord performs activities based on his Leela potency. So like that, there are some intricacies in Lord Krishna's pastimes, especially the disappearance pastimes and appearance pastimes. Only devotees can understand all these pastimes in proper perspective. Others, very difficult. So it's like that. So we'll move on to the next verse. What did he do? So he was crying as Uddhava departed from Vrindavan. Vidura looking at Uddhava with the crying and also remembering that Lord Krishna remembered him also crying. Kalindya Katibi Siddha
कालिन्द्या कटिभिः सिद्धा
Ahobir Bharatarshava
अहो वीरवर तरसभा
प्रापद्यता स्वः सरितं
प्रापद्यत स्वसरितम्
यत्र मित्रा सुतो मुनि.
यत्र मित्रा सुतो muni. Translation: After passing a few days on the bank of the river Yamuna, Vidur, the self-realized soul, reached the bank of Ganges, where the great sage Maitreya was situated.
After Uddhava left for Badrikashram, Vidura remained a couple of days in Vrindavan only. The reason is, for all these years, the last 36 years, the Vidura was traveling onto different pilgrimage places. He never visited neither Vrindavan nor Madura nor Dwaraka, because he felt that I've been associating with these Kauravas for so long, my heart is so contaminated, I'm not qualified to go to Lord Krishna's abode. But now Lord disappeared, and he also very soon want to wind up his activities here. He want to go back to Yamaloka and resume his activities as a Maharaj. But before going ahead, he want to spend some time in Richa, the most auspicious place. Oh, best of the Kurus, Parikshit Maharaj. The great devotee Vidura, after spending a few days on the bank of Yamuna river, departed from there and went to the Ganga, where Maitreya dwelled. Because Vidura asked the question to Uddhava, saying that, my dear Uddhava, please tell me what all Lord spoke to you. So then Uddhava told out of etiquette, because along with me Maitreya was there. In fact, Lord was speaking to Maitreya only. It is better you approach Maitreya. So now he is going to Maitreya. So from east, after staying a couple of days in Vrindavan on the bank of Yamuna, he slowly traveled to Haridwar, where he met Maitreya. Haridwar is the dwelling place of Maitreya. Spending few days near Yamuna, Vidura went to Ganga, that is Haridwar. So this is about chapter 4. Any questions? So then we'll go ahead with chapter 5. Chapter 5 will discuss about what will happen. What will happen after Vidura meets Maitreya Rishi. And this discussion will continue till the end of the next canto. Vidura's talk with Maitreya. In the 5th chapter, Vidura asks about the creation of the universe of happiness and suffering. Maitreya described the primary creation with elements, and the elements praise the Lord. There are 3 topics in this chapter. So Vidura approaches Maitreya and inquires from him about the process of creation. Maitreya explains about the process of creation, and there is also a section of prayers offered by the devatas of the elements at the end of this chapter. So this was the complete overview of the Canto 3. In the first 4 chapters, we saw that how Uddhava Vidura spoke to each other. That conversation led to the conversation of Vidura Maitreya Samvad, wherein Bhagavatam is spoken again in the line of the 4 Kumaras, Kumara Sampradaya. And then chapter 5 to 13 is the main chapter of main canto, wherein the process and the purpose of the material creation is explained. This is the main subject matter of the canto 3 is what is the process of creation and what is the purpose of creation. They are the 2 sections that are present in the entire canto 3. Process of creation is explained from chapter 5 to 12. Maybe in fact, chapter 5 to 20 is the process of creation. 21 to 33, it is about the purpose of creation. Teachings of Lord Kapila. So like that. So this is a big chapter about 51 prayer shlokas are there. So Vidura approaches Maitreya and Vidura inquires Maitreya Vidura interested in hearing Krishna Katha, and Maitreya becomes very happy hearing Vidura's inquiries and he honors him. And then Maitreya explains the process of creation in the prayer offered by the elemental devatas. Having described the nature of the shelter of creation, the Angi, the Supreme Lord, in the 4 chapters, last 4 chapters talked about Lord Krishna, the original source of everything that exists. He is called as Angi, the Supreme Lord, the shelter of the creation. Now, in the remaining canto, the creation, Sarga, which is composed of his Angas, is now described in detail. The creation will be described in detail in the rest of the canto. So, that is the connection from the first 4 chapters to the remaining 29 chapters of the third canto. So, please repeat after me, Simon. Sri Shuka Uvacha.
Shuka Uvacha.
Varidyunadya Rishabha Kurunam.
Varidyunanda Rishabha Kurunam.
Maitreya Masina Magadha Bodham.
Maitreya Asinam Agadha Bodham.
Shetopasrishta Chuta Bhava Siddha.
Ketropasya Chitta Bhava Siddha.
Praprucha Saushilya Guna Vitruttaha.
Prapucha Sausalya Guna Virukta. Translation. Sukadeva Goswami said, Vidura, the best among the Kuru dynasty, who was perfect in devotional service to the Lord, thus reached the source of the celestial Ganga river, Haridwar, where Maitreya, the great fathomless learned sage of the world, was seated. Vidura, who was perfect in gentleness and satisfied in transcendence, inquired from him. Hare Krishna.
So, here it says that Sukadeva Goswami saying that Vidura, the best of the Kurus, completely absorbed in Lord Krishna and satisfied with the gentle qualities of Maitreya, who had deep knowledge, approached Maitreya as he sat on the bank of the Ganga at Haridwar and asked him questions. Basically, both of them received each other, that is being indicated in this text. So Maitreya was peacefully seated on the bank of Haridwar. In Haridwar, in the outskirts, the Ganga divides into multiple streams. And in between streams, there is some kind of small islands. So one of the island is the abode of Maitreya. He is sitting in between Ganga and in a peaceful environment and very quite calm. So when Vidura went there, he offered obeisances. Maitreya received him very happily with affectionate smile. So both are happy with each other's gentle behavior. That is indicated. Then having received, having worshipped, having sat comfortably, the Vidura begins to ask a couple of questions. Maitreya was sitting on the bank of Ganga, Dyu Nadya, at Haridwar. Dwari indicates at Haridwar. Dyu Nadya means the heavenly river. Dyu means heaven, Nadya means the river. The heavenly river is Ganga. He was not engaged in material activities. So Maitreya was not engaged in material activities, instead he was in meditation. Saushilya Guna Vitrutta means Maitreya was satisfied with Vidura's gentle behavior. So Vidura came and offered obeisances and sat at his feet. So Maitreya became very happy. Because for Maitreya, Vidura is like the sun. Because Maitreya and Vyasa were classmates, like friends, very close friends. And being a Vidura is the son of Vyasa, he is like the son of Maitreya also. So since his gentle behavior and respect towards Maitreya made Maitreya pleased. So he was very happy. Having received the secret knowledge from Uddhava. Sorry. Okay. So now this is like connection to next verse. Having received the secret knowledge from Uddhava, who had been taught by the Lord, Vidura considered himself unqualified. So Vidura thought that Uddhava is very closely connected to Lord Krishna. Lord Krishna can speak to Uddhava anything and everything. He spoke, in fact. So Vidura thought that though I am elder in age, but I am very much younger in bhakti. I am not qualified as Uddhava qualified. Being despondent, Vidura considered in his mind. What did he consider? Uddhava had said, Lord Krishna spoke to sage Maitreya, who was attached to the Lord, attentive to listening, with head bowed out of love and joy, while glancing at me, with affection and smiling, with relieved, which relieved me of fatigue. Previously, Uddhava told this. Lord was actually looking at Maitreya and speaking to him. He was actually speaking to Maitreya, but in between he was also looking at me. That made me completely satisfied because Lord gave him special mission and Lord kind of enthusing him and encouraging him by that special luminaire. So there it is mentioned that Tatyanuraktasya Muner Mukunda Pramoda Bhavanata Kandarasya Ashrunvato Mam Anugragahasa Samviksha Vishramayan Vacha. So that's what the Lord's demeanor. Lord was actually speaking to Maitreya because Maitreya is elder and looking at Uddhava. So it removed the pain of separation from Uddhava. The Lord taught the secret knowledge to Uddhava, the greatest and most intimate among Lord Krishna's devotees, not to Maitreya, who was listening. But that cannot be. So Uddhava told that Lord actually talked to Maitreya. And Vidura thinking that I don't think so. Actually, Lord was looking at Uddhava and speaking to Uddhava. But by the way, initially started speaking to Maitreya. So Uddhava is the direct recipient. Maitreya is, by the way, recipient. I am not sure whether Maitreya understood what Lord Krishna spoke to Uddhava or not. Therefore, I will not ask him directly. So, my dear Maitreya sir, that Lord seems to be spoken to you with some special message. Can you please give me? If I ask like that, Maitreya may feel bad because according to Uddhava's words, Lord spoke to Uddhava. So Uddhava default Uddhava understood, but not sure Maitreya. Not to embarrass Maitreya, first let me ask some simple questions. If Maitreya, who had understood the message of Krishna, he will say that actually Lord Krishna spoke this especially for you. Please listen this. He will tell on his own. Then there is no issue. So like that. To understand if Maitreya heard that knowledge or not, in the beginning I will not ask that question, that great cell. In case he does not know, he will be put in embarrassment. Therefore, I'll ask only some of my own questions. I also have some questions. I'll ask them. By the way, since I am asking some questions, Maitreya, if you have understood the meaning of Lord's talk, he will reveal that to me also. So like that. If he knows that, if he knows that knowledge, then he will say, Oh Vidura, I was taught by the Lord just for giving this knowledge to you. Please understand this knowledge about the Lord, who has no birth but take births, who has no activities but perform the activities. Something like that. Please understand this knowledge about the Lord who has no birth and takes the birth, in which the contradictions are resolved, which are explained to me. I have understood from Lord how the contradictions of Lord's birth and he is same. So the contradictions all need to be cleared. That if the Vidura, if Maitreya understood, he will definitely will tell me. So like that, in which the contradictions are resolved, which the Lord explained to me. So like that. On his own, he will explain this. In this way, Uddhava begin speaking to Maitreya. So thinking like that,
Hare Krishna
Matlab,
Prabhuji.
yes,
Hare
Mataji.
Krishna Prabhuji. In previous some verses it is mentioned that Maitreya is not pure devotee like Uddhava. So is it that the knowledge he received will be less in degree than Uddhava, or it is not complete knowledge? Is it like that?
No, it is not like that. Even Maitreya is also a pure devotee. But Uddhava is very closely associating with Lord Krishna. In one sense, Uddhava is a Dwaraka associate of Lord Krishna. And he had been sent to Vrindavan. And he had specially received special mercy from the gopis. But Maitreya is a great personality, had the knowledge of the Supreme Lord, is an Aishwarya Bhakta. So he is also a pure devotee only. But here the conversation is all about the contradictions. Karmani anihasya bhavo bhavasate durgashrayam tari bhayat palayanam. So something like that. All these swatman rate kitadir vidamiha. So some of the contradictory pastimes Lord Krishna performs. That was the question asked by Uddhava. And Lord replied to answer to that. So Uddhava had understood. There is no doubt about it. And Uddhava explained that to Vidura also. But and Lord spoke few more. I mean, if the Lord has spoken few more other things also, anything Anata Krishna Katha, let him speak all those things. I would like to hear. With that intention, here the question is asked. Okay, Mataji?
Okay, Prabhuji. Okay, got
Hmm.
it.
So, second verse. From here on, the actual conversation takes place between Vidura and Maitreya. Someone please repeat after me. Vidura
Yes, Prabhuji.
uvacha
Vidura uvacha
sukaya karmani karoti loko.
sukhaya karmani karoti loko.
This shloka will be there for exam. Kindly everyone pay attention to it. Sukaya karmani karoti loko.
Sukhaya karmani karoti loko.
Nate sukam vanyaduparamam va.
Natai sukham vanyadupararamyam va.
Vindeta bhuyastatayeva dukkam.
Vindeta bhuyastataiva dukkham.
Yadatra yuktam bhagavan vadenna.
Tatra yuktam bhagavan vadenaha. Vidura said, O great sage, everyone in this world engages in fruitive activities to attain happiness. But one finds neither satiation nor the mitigation of distress. On the contrary, one is only aggravated by such activities. Please, therefore, give us directions on how one should live for real happiness.
A very special, important philosophical verse. We have discussed this verse many times. We'll be discussing this verse also many times in the future also. Always being this describes, this depicts the nature of the world around us. We every day we see this kind of behavior among ourselves. So Vidura is portraying that. Vidura says that men in this world, this is his personal question. He want to inquire answer for these questions. And by the way, if Maitreya understood what Lord Krishna spoke to Uddhava about his confidential nature, he will tell on his own like that. Men in this world engage in action for material happiness. The people of this world engage in material activities for the material happiness, but they do not have attain the material happiness which they anticipated, and they do not destroy the current distress. Currently, they are in distress. In order to destroy the distress and experience happiness, they perform material activities. The result is they are neither able to destroy the distress nor able to get the happiness. And then third point, nor do they become detached. If some activity is not destroying the distress and not able to give happiness, one should not perform that again. But they do not become detached from the activity. Rather, By this, they increase their suffering. By such performing different activity, proper result. They perform another activity, another activity, but they will never become detached from the activity. Understanding that any activity you perform, it ultimately leads to misery only. There is no cessation of misery and there is no arrival of happiness. Rather, by this, they increase their suffering. You know everything. Therefore, please tell me. Bhagavan Vaden. So, my dear Maitreya, you are like Bhagavan. You know everything. So, please tell me why it is so. By these activities, man does not get happiness. Na tai sukam, and does not get relief from distress. Va anyad, nor does he become detached. Uparamamba. Three things. When somebody is in distress, they undertake some activity to become freed from the distress and experience happiness. So what's happening? By these activities, the men do not get happiness. One of their expectation. They are not able to remove the distress. One of the second of their expectations. And so like that, any activity they perform, same thing is actually happening. So intelligent person should become detached from such kind of mental activities. But they are not detached, nor does they detached. Rather, again and again, by doing different variety of activities. Okay, this activity did not give me happiness. Let me work on this activity. Or by doing this activity this way, it is not giving me happiness. I'll do this activity in this way, so it will give me happiness. Rather, again and again, by doing different activities, one experiences suffering only in this material world. So please give an answer to this question. So basically, the question is, please give the reasons and remedy for this. So please help me understand how and why this particular behavior is happening and when it will become normal. Please give the reasons and remedy for this. Why it is so and what is the remedy for such kind of situation? This is the question of Vidura into Maitreya. While asking this question, he also conveyed that, my dear sir, you are like Bhagavan. You know answer to all these questions. So please answer. So like that. So Vidura, being a minister, he had spent about 100 years. He knows in and out of entire humanity, how the human's psychology exists in this world. So based on that only, he is asking this question. This question depicts each one of us. What is our mentality? The answer to this question will be the solution to all our problems. The solution will be indicated in the 8th chapter, one of the beginning verses. Then we will discuss. My dear Vidura, you know everything. Then Maitreya says, my dear Vidura, you know everything. Because you being the minister, you traveled length and breadth, and being the most qualified son of Vyasadeva. You're not only minister, you are also the son of Vyasadeva, the all-knowing Supreme Lord. So you asking me, it looks very shabby. There is no need to ask me. You yourself know everything. Why are you asking me? There is no point in asking about it. So then Vidura says, okay, my dear father, like father like figure, my dear sir. So you think that I know? Whatever I know is this much only. This is what I know. Please understand this and answer. So now in the next verse, Vidura states what he knows, what is his understanding, why people are getting suffering. The reason for people are performing again and again mental activities and again and again putting themselves into repeated miseries. This is what he says. Janasya Krishna Vimukasya Daivat
जनस्य
जनस्य
कृष्णाद्विमुखस्य वै दैवात्
Adharmashilasya Sudukkitasya
अधर्मशीलस्य सुदुःखितस्य
Bhutani anugrahaye hacharanti nunam.
Anugrahayeha charanti nunam.
Bhutani bhavyani janardanasya.
Bhutani bhavyani janardanasya. O my Lord, great philanthropic souls travel on the earth on behalf of Supreme Personality of Godhead to show compassion to the fallen souls who are averse to the sense of subordination to the Lord. Hare Krishna.
So this verse talks about Vidura's understanding of our misery. Why people of this world are put into misery. In order to give mercy to the suffering people engaged in sin. So don't worry about this line now. The people are in suffering because they are engaged in sin. Adharma shilasya. The people are following adharma. As a result of that, they are experiencing dukkha. Dukkha means misery. Sudukha means perpetual misery, continuous misery. Why they are performing sin? If the cause for suffering is sin, what is the cause for sin? Who are under the control of karma, daivat. Because people are attracted to perform material activities and they are ignorant of Krishna. Krishnat vimukasya. They are not only ignorant of Krishna, they don't want to look at Krishna. Vimukha. They have turned their faces away from Krishna. They thought that, okay, I can figure out why to take shelter of Krishna. Who is he? I will create my own destiny. So something like that. They have turned their faces away from Krishna and then they became attracted to material activities. And prominently, most of the material activities are sinful activities. As a result of that, they are put into perpetual misery. But on the other hand, in order to give mercy to such kind of materialistic people, give them mercy, anugraha eha, the auspicious devotees of the Lord, Janardanasya Bhavyani Bhutani. Janardanasya Bhuta, that means Lord's devotees. Vishnu Jain, they move in this world. Iha Charanti Nunam. They continuously walk on the surface of the earth in order to give the mercy to the perpetually suffering materialistic people who have turned their faces away from Krishna. So according to my understanding, this is the reason and remedy. The reason is these people have turned their faces away from Krishna. They became attracted to material activities and hence they are performing sin. They are getting difficult miseries. And the solution remedy for this problem is great souls such as you continuously wander on the surface of the earth to deliver them. Therefore, I have come to you. Though I may know the reason for the misery, but I don't have any remedy for that. But remedy comes from the great souls like you. That's why I come to you to find out the remedy. Only great devotees like you, merciful to all souls, know the truth. That is expressed in this verse. You may say that I know the truth. You also being the son of Vyasa, you know the truth. You may say like that. But I don't know. Only great souls like you who continuously travel on the earth for the benefit of the people and all will only know the truth. Bhavyani Bhutani means auspicious devotees. So then Maitreya says, oh, you are also a great soul. So my dear Uddhava, sorry, my dear Vidura, don't say that I am only great soul. You are also such a great soul. If you think that you are not qualified, then kindly approach the most qualified Vyasadeva. So my dear Vidura, if you are also great soul, but if you think that out of humility you are not great devotee, you are not qualified, then approach Vyasa, your father. He is the most qualified person. There is no need to ask me. You don't have to come to me and ask me about this thing. You say that great souls travel on the surface of the earth and distribute Krishna's mercy to one and all who are suffering in this world. So you should go to. Actually, in fact, you are such a great soul. If you think out of humility you are not a great soul, then you please go to your father Vyasa. He is certainly a great soul. Then for which Uttara says that no, my dear sir, you are as qualified as a Vyasa, my father. So I agree. Of course, my father is such a grateful person, but you are also as good as my father. You are no less than my father. That's why I have come to you. I don't have to go to my father. And later on, at the end of this chapter, Lord says that even Vyasadeva had to go through some kind of. But Vyasadeva is some far distant. I have come to you. And Vyasadeva speaks continuously about Mahabharata, which I have heard from Vyasadeva for many, many, many times. But this time I want to hear exclusive Krishna Katha. That's why I came to you. You please speak exclusive Krishna Katha. So, like that. Sure. So, like that, Vidura is inspiring Maitreya. And the discussion continues in the next verse also. तस्यादुवर्या दिशवर्त्मशम्ना
तत्साधुवर्या दिशवर्त्मसम्ना
सम्रादितो भगवान् येन पुंसाम्
सम्रादितो भगवान् येन पुंसाम्
हृदि स्थितो यच्छति भक्तिपूते
हृदि स्थितो यश्चति भक्तिपूते
ज्ञानं स तत्त्वादिगमं पुराणम्
ज्ञानं च तत्त्वादिगमं पुराणम्.
Mataji, read the translation.
Yeah, therefore, O great sage, please give me instruction on the transcendental devotional service of the Lord, so that he who is situated in the heart of everyone can be pleased to impart from within knowledge of the absolute truth in terms of the ancient Vedic principles delivered only to those who are purified by the process of devotional service.
Yeah, here he says that, yes, sir, you are also such a great soul like my father, but right now I have come to you. You can also do the same. Oh, best of the devotees, Sadhuvarya. My dear sir, I am not speaking out of humility, but you are speaking out of humility. You are also one such a great devotee. You are no less than my father. Please speak about the auspicious path by which the Supreme Lord, worshipped by men situated in the heart, purified by bhakti, gives the original knowledge from which one can understand Brahman, Paramatma, and Bhagavan. He says that, please speak about the auspicious sadhana, following which, practicing which, the Supreme Lord, who is situated in the core of the heart as Paramatma, the heart, by practicing sadhana, when the heart becomes purified by the path of bhakti, the Paramatma gives the original knowledge by which one understands the tattva of the Supreme Lord, Brahman, Paramatma, and Bhagavan. Because Lord Krishna tells in Bhagavad Gita that Janma karma cha me devyam evam yo veti tattvaha taktva deha punarjanma naitmamiti. So Arjuna. So one should understand about birth and disappearing sacred days. Tattvataha. Like that. So when being instructed by a great soul like you, when a person practices bhakti, that bhakti purifies the heart, then in a purified heart, the Paramatma who was situated there reveals the true knowledge in Tattvataha. As a result of that, one understands the true nature of Brahman, Paramatma, and Bhagavan. So this is the procedure. So I have come to you. You please enlighten me. So like that. Please teach us the most auspicious path, the path of worship of the Supreme Lord. Tattve here means the knowledge explained in the verse. Vadanti tat tattvata vidas. So in the first canto it is mentioned that what kind of tattva? The Lord gives knowledge from which one can understand Brahman, Paramatma, and Bhagavan. Tattvataha, Bhagavan has three features. Brahman, Paramatma, and Bhagavan. So in that way. Tashtadadana munayo jnana vairagya yuktaya pashyati atmani atmanam yukta sutagrihitaya. The personality, the seriously engaged to student are yoga. The seriously engaged student or sage, well equipped with knowledge and detachment, realizes the absolute truth by rendering devotional service after hearing from Guru. So first, a serious student should take shelter of Guru, hear from Guru, follow those instructions. As a result of that, one's heart is purified and one becomes well educated by the knowledge of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And then renders pure bhakti unto Supreme Lord. So Purana means ancient, not recent, like the Mimamsa and other philosophies. So it's like that. No, very true. Yes, no, so this is about few verses in order to inspire Maitreya to speak about Krishna, to speak about Bhakti. And before that, just to inspire Maitreya to speak about, because any person out of humility, they don't want to speak just like that. So one, there is a kind of barrier that need to be broken off. Then one starts speaking. So this is just to inspire him. And starting from the next verse onwards, there is the series of questions. So what Vidura want to hear, keeping this background in the backside. So that will be mentioned in the next verse onwards. So Hare Krishna, just give me 2 minutes break. I'll rejoin. Somebody has come, just tell me it and come. So Hare Krishna, just go through these verses and notes. We will take some questions some of you have.
Hello, everybody. Hare Krishna. Hello.
Yes, Mataji.
Hare Krishna. Prabhuji is coming, no, back.
Yes, he said he's coming in 2 minutes.
He's coming in 2 minutes. Okay. Thank you.
Hare Krishna. Anyone has any question?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Yes, miss. No questions?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Ah.
Prabhuji, of the last chapter, you told one sentence that the Dwarka Krishna disappeared from Dwarka there and entered Dwarka. This and other Vishnu forms in this Leela came to Prayas, and from there they disappeared. But
Prabhas.
yeah, Prabhas. Yeah, then you said that the material body of Krishna was still there. So I didn't get that. In Prabhas?
No. That comes in the 11th canto. Even Prabhas also, Lord Krishna left behind one material body. Like all of us, when we die, our body remains here, na?
Yes.
Like that, Lord Krishna also left behind, so that the less intelligent people of this world who are there around, they will see that, okay, see, Krishna ka sharir chhod diya. How can he be God? He is like us, so that Kali Yuga will begin. So with that intention, Lord Krishna also left behind a material body in Prabhas. But with devotees like with Uddhava and Vidura understood that, okay, why Lord is doing the way it is doing. That is all with a purpose. It is not that he is a human being, that's why he left behind a material body and then Atma went to Vaikuntha, not like that. That complete understanding is known to great devotees like Uddhava and Vidura and all.
Okay, Prabhuji. But then still in Kali Yuga means in everyone believes in that only, and therefore the Kali Yuga is still going on. That's the reason it's like that, Prabhuji.
Yeah, those who are not devotees will believe in that. The devotees will understand Lord Krishna leaving behind the body is, it is for a purpose. It is not like us who is leaving the body.
Yes, Prabhuji, because some people who go to Prabhas Kshetra and all, they, the tourists, and they all say that Krishna was buried here, sorry, burnt here and this. Because Prabhuji, these things are very unnatural for a devotee to hear all these things.
In spite of hearing that also, devotee will not be bewildered by such hearing.
No.
That is a
Okay.
devotee.
Yes. Okay.
Devotee hears and he also tells about all these things to others. But he knows why Krishna did it. Krishna did it is all because Kali Yuga has to start. Because when Lord Krishna was around, it was like Satya Yuga. So from Dwapara to Kali, it is a natural conversion. But from Satya to Kali, there should be a drastic fall down. In order to do that, Lord Krishna orchestrated the fight among the Yadavas. He had created a scene, a movie.
Yeah.
A fictional movie. And also in that fictional movie, the the tip of the iceberg is Lord Krishna left behind a body, and then Arjuna comes and he actually performed the final rites for Lord Krishna and all the Yadavas there. And all the queens are also enters into the final rites. Sati, they all enter into Sati. It is all mentioned in the 11th canto.
Okay.
But as I mentioned, neither Lord Krishna, none of the queens of Lord Krishna left Dwarka. They all there in the Dwarka only. But those who came to Prabhas and all, it is a scene created to all this.
Yes. Okay, Prabhuji, I got.
So
Okay,
begin
thank you. Yeah.
Okay. So we'll move on with the next verse. Karoti karma nikruta avataro. Someone please.
Karoti karmani krutavataro.
Yanyatmatantro bhagavamstradisha.
Yanatmatantro bhagavanstradishaha.
Yata sasarjagra idam niriha.
Yatha sasarjagra idam niriha.
Samstapya vrittim jagato vidatte.
Sanstapya vrittim jagato vidatte. Translation. O great sage, kindly narrate how the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is the independent, desireless Lord of the three worlds, and the controller of all energies, accepts incarnations and creates the cosmic manifestation with perfectly arranged regulative principles for its maintenance.
Yes. Just 1 minute, I'll return. So here, this is the first, basically a question with different stages of the same question. So Vidura is saying that, please describe how Lord Krishna, the Lord of the three Purushas, so Karnadakshaya Vishnu, Garbhodakshaya Vishnu, Fyodakshaya Vishnu, these are called three Purushas, and Lord Krishna, the Lord of these three Purushas, three Adisha. And sometimes three Adisha can also be taken as the Lord of the three modes, the Lord of the three lokas, Buloka, Bhurloka, Swargaloka. It's like that. Any threes. And Lord of the three pairs of the six opulences, Aishwaryasya, Samagrasya, Viryasya, Ashasriya, Jnana, Vairagya, Chaiva, Sannamagaiting, all those things. So without desire, performs pastimes in this world. And how, as Mahavishnu, the Lord of the three gunas. So the Supreme Lord Sri Krishna expanding as Mahavishnu with the Lord of three gunas, again Triyadisha, after destroying the universe, again creates and maintains it. So basically, how Lord Krishna, who is the Lord of the three Purushas, expanding as Prashta Purusha, are three Purushas, who are the Lords of the three gunas, create, maintain, and annihilate the entire universe. Please speak about the Srsti Lila. That is the question. So please describe. This should be added to each verse till the text 9. Basically, this is the one question. It's different stages of the same question are narrated one after the other. So in all the subsequent verses. Tradisha means Lord Krishna, the Lord of the three Purushas. Describe how he performs actions like lifting Govardhan. These are the spiritual pastimes of Lord Krishna. And then the pastimes of Lord Krishna's expansion of Mahavishnu, the Srsti Lila. Describe how the controller of the three gunas, Mahavishnu, previously means at the end of the last life of Brahma, the previous Brahma, at the end of the life of the previous Brahma, he destroyed the entire universes, all the universes. And again, at the beginning of the current Brahma's life, in a new Mahakalpa, the same Mahavishnu creates all the universes and currently maintaining them. How does he do it? He destroyed all the universes, but in these questions, it is only talking about the one universe because we are living in one universe. The question is asked in relation to our universe. How Lord Vishnu destroyed the universe at the end of the previous Brahma's lifetime, and at the beginning of the current Brahma's birth, how he created this universe, and now he is maintaining for the last 50 years of Brahma's life, and will again maintain for the next 50 years, again destroy, again create, again maintain. How does he do this? This is the question. And the question will have various sub stages. And also he asked the same question different points of view to understand the procedure is same or not. The procedure differently in different Mahakalpas. So Kalpa means one day of Brahma. Mahakalpa means one lifetime of Brahma. So Mahakalpa means one full lifetime of Brahma. Brahma's 100 years is called Mahakalpa. So like that. So before the birth of Brahma, the universe is created. After the completion of 100 years of Brahma's lifespan, again the universe will be destroyed. So like that. And during which, during the Brahma's lifespan, it is maintained. So in that way. Yata punasve kaidam niveshya. Hare Krishna. Anyone please repeat?
यथा पुनस्त्वे कैदं निवेश्याम
Sete guhayam sanivruttavrutti.
ते गुहायां सनिवृत्तवृत्तिः
Yogeshwaradishwara eka etad. అన్నుడు వెళ్ళిపోయిండు. నేను వస్తా. అనుప్రవిష్టో బహుదాయతాసీత్.
प्रविष्टो बहुधा यथासीत्. Translation: He lies down on his own heart, spread in the forms of the sky, and thus placing the whole creation in that space. He expands himself into many living entities which are manifested as different species of life. He does not have to endeavor for his mental because
Hare Krishna, one more minute, I'll just join.
thus he is
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, there is no audio.
Prabhuji, take a
Prabhuji is
leave.
not, is gone. Hello, not there.
Prabhuji has taken a break.
Prabhuji is not there.
Yeah,
He has
means he is
taken a
taken a
break. Break for 2 minutes.
Okay. Um, so here our Vidura is saying, please describe how the Lord, fixing himself in the space, free of the effects of Maya, sleeps in the Viraja river, and how, though alone, the Lord of all lords enters into the universe and becomes many forms. So this is a question about like different stages of the same process of creation. Like Mahavishnu sleeps on Karna ocean, the causal ocean, or Karmadakshaya Vishnu, since he is. So he sleeps there alone. So how does he sleep there? In the Viraja river. And then expanding himself as Garbhodakshaya Vishnu comes into each universe and creates a universal form and manifests in the form of all the living entities. How does he do all these things? So subsequent details of the creation. So please explain all these things. So like that is elaborating what he wants to hear in the question, related to the question. Establishing himself in the space of his heart, he sleeps in the Viraja river, which is called secret, since no one can understand this place. The Viraja river, which is located between the material universe and spiritual universes, there only Mahavishnu is there. It is a secret place, no one knows about it. He is unaffected by Maya. At the same time, he enters into each and every universe that he created and exists in each and every universe which he created in many forms, such as men and devatas. So, like that. So, this is the details of the same questions. What else you want? The question about creation is asked repetitively to find out if the creation takes place the same way in each Mahakalpa or differently. So he wants to know everything in detail. That was the reason he is elaborating his question, expanding his question so that he can get all the final details. So like that. Then he further continues. The same question is further expanded in the next two verses. All the way it goes up to 9th verse. So please repeat after me. Kridan vidatte dvijago surana.
क्रीडन् विदते
क्रीडन् विदत्ते द्विज गोसुराणाम्
क्षेमाय कर्माणि अवतार भेदै.
क्षेमाय कर्माणि अवतारभेदैः
मनो न तृप्यति अपि शृण्वतां न.
मनो न तृप्यति अतिशृण्वतानां न
शुश्लोकमौलेश्चरितामृतानि.
शुश्लोकमौलेश्चरितामृतानि. Translation. You may narrate also about the auspicious characteristics of the Lord in his different incarnations for the welfare of the twice born, the cows, and the demigods. Our minds are never satisfied completely, although we continuously hear of his transcendental activities. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Please describe how Lord Krishna in different avatars performs pastimes for producing auspiciousness for the Brahmanas, cows, and Devatas. Vijago Suranam Go Brahmana Itayacha. Namo Brahmana Devaya Go Brahmana Itayacha. Lord appears in various pastimes in order to protect the Brahmanas, cows, and the Devatas. Hearing the sweet pastimes of the most glorified beings, our minds can never be satisfied. By hearing this such kind of sweet pastimes of Lord Krishna, our minds can never be satisfied. So I want to hear in detail each and every pastime of the Supreme Lord. So this verse is about, so then Lord maintains the universe. So while maintaining the universe, the Lord comes into this universe in different avatars and performs different pastimes. So this question is about the maintenance of the universe. How does the Lord maintains while appearing in different avatars? So in that way. Avatara refers to forms such as Matsya and Kurma, Varaha, Nrasimha, Vamana, Parsharama, Rama, Krishna, Balrama. such as all the avatars. Please speak about the maintenance of the universe, for which Lord appears in the form of various avatars. So like that. Then further continues. Eistattvabeder adilokanato
Yaistattvabedera
lokan sah lokapalan
alokan sahalokapalan
achiklapadyatra hi sarvasatva
achiklapadyatra hi sarvasatva
nikaya bedodikrit adikritas pratita.
Ekaya Vedadikrut Pratiha. Translation. The Supreme King of all kings has created different planets and places of habitation where living entities are situated in terms of modes of nature and world, and he has created their different kings and rulers. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Please describe how the Lord of all planets produces the various planets and their protectors, Lokas and Lokapalas, by means of various elements, Tattva Veda, the 24 elements, and as well how he produces the area beyond the Loka mountain range, Achiklapat Alokan. Loka means the abodes where people are residing, and Aloka means the places where people are not residing. That also Lord created. That place also described. And also describe the types of living bodies assigned to the jivas. How the different variety of bodily forms are assigned to different variety of living entities according to their karmas, according to the qualification which are seen, Pratita. According to the different qualifications of different living entities, all these things are supposed to be indicated. It's like that. Describe how the Lord made the abodes such as Patala out of earth and other elements which are based on the Vairaja form, the gross universal form. Describe how the Lord made the abodes such as Patala, Atala, Vitala, Sutala, Talatala, like the 14 planetary systems out of earth and other elements which are based on the Vairaja form, the gross universal form, in which the different types of the bodies of living beings accepted according to the qualification of Bhakti, Jnana, Yoga or Karma are known. So basically, please talk about how the 14 planetary systems are manifested, how different people are living in those 14 planetary systems, and how they attain perfection by practicing Karma, Jnana, Yoga and Bhakti. All these things, please give an overview. So like that. Vairaja means the gross universal form is a form of Brahma consisting of all the abodes, all the lokas, and all the made up of all the elements. So Vairaja means gross universal form, which is considered to be one of the form of Lord Brahma, the entire gross universal form. Because later on we'll study that it is Brahma who, by dividing the lotus, made or created all the 14 planetary systems. So that belongs to Lord Brahma. That gross universal form is called Vairaja, which is considered to be one of the form of Brahma. So in addition to that, Lord Brahma had two more forms. What are the two more forms? One is Hiranyagarbha. It is called the subtle universal form. There is one gross universal form that is called Vairaja. There is one subtle universal form that is called Hiranyagarbha. So the gross universal form is nothing but the 14 planetary systems in the entire universe. The subtle universal form Hiranyagarbha means all the living entities who are living in the entire universe. All throughout the universe, different living entities are living. All of us, animals, plants, insects, and reptiles, and devatas, rishis, all these come into, all the jivas come into that is called Hiranyagarbha. And the four-headed Brahma, the Chaturmukha Brahma, the main living entity in the leader of this entire universe is Brahma. And the Paramatma for the entire universe is Garbhodakshaya Vishnu. Just like within our human body, we have all these distinctions. There is something called gross body, something called subtle body, something called Atma, something called Paramatma. We have four distinctions within our personality. Similarly, there are four distinctions within the entire universe. So the four distinctions are the gross universal form, that is Vairaja, consisting of 14 planetary systems. Subtle universal form, consisting of all the living entities living in the entire universe, that is called Hiranyagarbha. The Atma of the entire universe, that is Brahma himself. The Paramatma of the entire universe, that is called Garbhodakshaya Vishnu. The Paramatma of the individual living entity is Kshirodakshaya Vishnu. The Paramatma of the entire universe is Garbhodakshaya Vishnu. So this is how we can compare one on one. So that is indicated here. So please speak about all these things. How 14 planet systems are made, how different living entities are assigned to stay in different locus. Please tell about that. That is the further detail of the question. And lastly, the same question is kind of expanded. Yena prajana uta atma karma.
येन प्रजानोत आत्मा कर्म
Rupa bidanam cha bidam yadatta.
रूपामिदाना च मिदां वयद्रत्
Narayano vishwasrugatma yonir.
नारायणो विश्वसृगात्मयोनि
Etachano varnaya vipravarya.
रेतच्च नो वर्णय विप्रवर्य. Translation. O chief amongst the Brahmanas, please also describe how Narayana, the creator of the new universe and the self-sufficient Lord, has differently created the natures, activities, forms, features, and the name of the different living creatures. Hare Krishna.
O Vipravarya, O best of the Brahmanas, please describe how the Lord in the form of Brahma for creating the universe produces varieties of natures, activities, forms, and names for the Jivas. He said that what all Brahma creates, please speak about that. So Brahma has so many activities to do as the creator of the within the universe. So please speak about all those things also. Says that. As well describe how Narayana, becoming Lord Brahma, for creation produces natures of the jivas, produces 6 different psychophysical natures for different variety of jivas. That psychophysical nature produces different activities. So every person having a special psychophysical nature performs different variety of activities according to their liking and disliking. So the activities can be in the mode of goodness, in the mode of passion, the mode of ignorance, such etc. And those activities produce the future bodies. Whatever activities we perform now, they produce future bodies and which produce different names. And those bodies will have special designations. Somebody who is born in Brahmana family will be known as Brahmana, and Kshatriya family Kshatriya, Vaishya family Vaishya, Shudra family Shudra, which is depend on the previous karmas, which depend on the previous swabhava, previous nature of the person, etc. etc. Different names connected to different bodies, connected to different activities, connected to different psychophysical natures of the people. How does Brahma do all these things? Please explain. So these were the elaboration of the same question. This is what the different details that Vidura wanted to know from all these questions. So that is the principal question of Vidura. So for which Maitreya asks, but you have heard all of this in Mahabharata. So my dear Vidura, you have heard Mahabharata from your father, and Mahabharata talks about all these details in great detail. So what is the need to know again once again? For which Vidura says, though I have heard all these things from my father from Mahabharata, but now I want to hear from you. Why? Paravaresham Bhagavan Vratani. Okay, no problem.
Isam Bhagavan Vratani.
Srutani me Vyasamukadabhikshnam.
Tani me Vyasam Khadamikyanam.
Atrupnumakshullasukavahanam.
Atrutatu Sukha Sukhatmamanam.
Tesham Mrute Krishna Katamrutaugat.
ईसामृते कृष्णकथामृतौ सात् Translation. O my Lord, I have repeatedly heard about the higher and lower status of human society from the mouth of Vyasdev, and I am quite satiated with all these lesser subject matter and their happiness. They have not satisfied me with the nectar of topics about Krishna. Hare Krishna.
O great person, I have heard repeatedly of various natures of high and low persons from the mouth of Vyasadeva. I have been satiated with hearing about those natures, which give insignificant happiness, being devoid of the great sweetness of Lord Krishna's pastimes. So when Maitreya said that, I think you have heard all these things from Mahabharata, from your father. He said that I have heard repeatedly various natures of high and low persons from the mouth of Vyasadeva. I have been satiated with hearing about those natures, which give insignificant happiness, being devoid of the great sweetness of Lord Krishna's pastimes. My dear sir, I have heard all these things, but independent of Lord Krishna's glories. Now I want to hear all these pastimes in relation to Lord Krishna or Lord Vishnu. This is a special distinction between Krishna and the previous hearing and future hearing. I have heard all those things independent of the connection to Lord Vishnu, but now I want to hear them in connection to Lord Vishnu. That is why I am asking all these things in relation to Vishnu. I heard about the natures of high entities such as devatas and low entities such as animals. I was satiated with them. I am done with that. The usage is like Nagnis Tripyati Na Agnis Trupyati Kashtanam. A fire is not satisfied by sticks of wood. Tesham indicates that he was actually not satisfied with them. So there are two meanings for this verse. If you consider what is this understanding about the nature of different people and their activities and karma, all these things, from the material point of view, I've heard them, I'm done with that. But if you take them spiritually, because all these activities are acting in connection to Lord Krishna or Lord Vishnu, hearing Lord's pastimes, there is no satiation to a person. Though I have heard all these things from my father many times, but I am not completely satisfied. That means, just like fire does not become satisfied with wood, as much wood you put, Agni does not say that, no, I am done with my eating, I will not eat any more wood. Agni will never say that. It will consume as much wood as you supply. Similarly, devotees will hear about Lord Vishnu. As much as there is opportunity to hear, they will never ever say that I am done with my hearing. Because hearing Krishna Katha, there is no end to it. They give insignificant happiness, being without the abundant nectar of Krishna's pastimes. When these events are spoken without relation to Krishna, they give no happiness. But when the same things are spoken in relation to Lord Krishna, they give immense happiness. This indicates that whatever I have asked about, you should speak about them, but mixed with the sweetness of Lord Krishna's pastimes. Don't speak them independent of Krishna Katha. Speak them in relation to Krishna Katha so that the same activity, the boring activities becomes sweet activities. So that was the intention of Vidura's asking this question. So for which Maitreya says that, but you have heard plentiful discussions about Lord Krishna. So, but you have heard about Lord Krishna also from your father. You have personally seen Lord Krishna. Why you want to hear more and more? For which Vidura says, Kastrupnyatriirtapado
कस्तृप्यनातीर्थपादोऽभिधानात्
तत्रेषु वासुरिभिरीड्यमाना
सत्रेषु वासुर्भिडीयमानात्
यः कर्णनाडिं पुरुषस्य यातो
यः कर्णनाडिं पुरुषस्य यातो
भवप्रदां गेहरतिं चिनन्ति
Bhava pradam geharatim chinati. Who in human society can be satisfied without hearing sufficient talk of the Lord, whose lotus feet are the sum total of all places of pilgrimage and who is worshipped by the great sages and devotees? Such topics can cut off one's bondage to family affection simply by entering the holes of one's ears.
What man can even be fully satiated with hearing the names of Lord Krishna, glorified by great sages in your assembly? Entering the ears, those topics of Krishna Katha destroy attraction to material life, the cause of material existence. So basically, he says that which person is satiated by hearing Krishna Katha in the assembly of great devotees, such as your good self. Matlab, a devotee will never be, he'll never say that no, I'm done with hearing, I don't want to hear anymore. Because Krishna Katha entering through the ears will destroy the attraction to material life, which is the cause of material bondage or material existence in this material world. So like that, it is indicated. If even the names cannot fully satiate a person, names of Lord Krishna cannot fully satiate a person, what to speak of the discussions about Lord Krishna's pastimes? Nama, Rupa, Guna, Lila. If the names of Lord itself, hearing about which a person is not satisfied, then what to speak of hearing Rupa, what to speak of hearing Guna, then what to speak of hearing Lila. So like that. The name itself is so satisfying, the person always want to hear more and more. Then obviously person will want to hear more and more about Lord's Rupa, Guna and Lila. So like that. Abhidanat can also refers to discussions about Lord Krishna. Who can be satiated from hearing the names of Lord Krishna? Which person can becomes, okay, that, okay, I'm done with all hearing. I don't want to hear anymore. So like that. So this is about the glories of Lord's pastimes. And further elaborates on the same theme. Mumir Vivakshur Bhagavad Gunanam. Hare Krishna.
मुनिर्विवक्षुर्भवत् गुणानाम्
Sakapite Bharatamaha Krishna.
तथापि ते भारतः कृष्ण
Yasmin Dranam Gramya Sukhanuvade.
यस्मिन् निरणं ग्रम्य सुखानुबन्धेर्
Matir Grihita Nuhare Katayam.
मतिर्गृहीतनुहरेर्कथायाम्. Translation. Your friend, the great sage Krishna Dvaipayana Vyasa, has already described the transcendental quality of the Lord in his great work, the Mahabharata. But the whole idea is to draw the attention of the mass of people to know to Krishna Katha, Bhagavad Gita, through their strong affinity for hearing mundane topics. Hare Krishna.
Yeah. O sage, your dear friend Vyasdeva, say Sakapi Muni Krishna, Krishna Dvaipayana Vyasa, who is your dear friend, desiring to describe the qualities of the Lord, Bhagavad Gunanam, wrote Mahabharata. In that work, he attracted men's attraction to the topics of the Lord, Hare Katayam, through the topics about material happiness, Gramya Sukha Anu Vadai. By speaking the topics of material happiness, Srila Vyasdev tried to capture the attraction of the people, tried to attract the people to the Krishna Katha through the medium of Mahabharata. So like that. The essence of the Mahabharata is also the topics of Lord Krishna. Muni Krishna is Vyasdeva, or it can indicate the abundance of the Lord's wonderful qualities. Mahabharata consists of Lord's wonderful description of the Lord's wonderful qualities. The minds of men absorbed in material pleasure became controlled by Vyasadeva through the stories about Dharma, Artha and Kama, in order that their minds enter into the sections such as Bhagavad Gita and Narayaniya. Though Mahabharata talks about Dharmartha Kama throughout, describing so many material activities of the people in this world, but in the middle of Mahabharata, there we have Bhagavad Gita and Narayaniya. So while hearing the Mahabharata stories, people also get to hear Bhagavad Gita and Narayaniya, which talk about the wonderful glories of the Supreme Lord, so that they will also get the benefit of hearing Krishna Katha and become attracted to Lord Krishna while hearing the material stories. They then became attracted to those topics. Otherwise, not listening to spiritual topics, they would never come near the Supreme Lord. Otherwise, if somebody directly giving the spiritual topics to the people in general, they will never ever come to that. In order to attract them, the material topics should be presented to them in the beginning. So in the middle of that, the spiritual topics should be presented. So this is how preaching happens. So preachers go to colleges telling that, okay, art of mind control, art of stress management, this, that, material topics, in which the Krishna consciousness is presented. So to attract them to Krishna consciousness. So like that. So Itihasa Samuchaya says that, what is that? What is the significance of this Mahabharata? Itihasa Samuchaya says that, what result can be attained by describing the lust of lusty men and greed of greedy men, except to send them into the darkness of will? So from the external point of view, Mahabharata Ramayana is all about the stories of a lusty person and greedy person. Ravana is a lusty person, Duryodhana is a lusty come greedy person. So what is the need of talking about the activities of these people? In the Mahabharata, lust and greed are described to purify people's hearts and are moreover condemned by stories with pure meaning. So the materialistic people are condemned in the pure stories of the Lord. But for their purification, Mahabharata is presented. So in that way. Otherwise, why would the most merciful and learned Vyasadeva describe lusty and greedy, lust and greed, the cause of bondage to terrible material existence? In general, lust and greed are criticized and they are not talked about in the Vedic literatures. But they are presented and they are talked about in the Ramayana Mahabharata in order to attract people to the Supreme Lord. Because Ramayana Mahabharata also speaks about the Lord in between hidingly, secretly hidingly. So in that way, that is the position of Mahabharata and Ramayana. Though apparently they are describing lust and greed, but in between they are also giving the capsule of Krishna consciousness, which is covered by all the sweet coating. So like that. Sa श्रद्ददानस्य विवर्धमाना
शाश्वतधनस्य विवर्धमान
विरक्तिमन्यत्र करोति पुंसः
विरक्तिमन्यत्र करोति पुंसः
हरे पदानुस्मृतिनिर्वृतस्य
हरे पदानुस्मृतिनिवृतस्य
समस्तदुःखापयमासु दत्ते
समस्तदुःखस्वमाशु धत्ते. Translation: for one who is anxious to engage constantly in hearing such topics, Krishna Katha gradually increases his indifferences towards all other things. Such constant remembrance of the lotus feet of the Lord Krishna by the devotee who has achieved transcendental bliss vanished all his miseries without delay. Hare Krishna.
The topics of the Lord increasing in the mind of the devotees create disgust with everything else. They quickly destroy all suffering for the person blissfully engaged in constant remembrance of the feet of the Supreme Lord. So this is what is indicated here. Krishna Katha, when one hears continuously, the mind becomes attracted to hear more and more Krishna Katha, and the mind becomes disgust with everything else. This Krishna Katha quickly destroys all suffering for the person blissfully engaged in constant remembrance of the Lord's lotus feet. This is the greatness of Krishna Katha. Whoever hears, their mind becomes purified, mind that becomes attracted to Krishna, hear more Krishna Katha and becomes disgust of anything else to hear anything else. And that mind constantly remembers Lord's lotus feet. This verse describes the result of absorbing the mind in topics of the Lord according to qualification. Topics of the Lord increase within the faithful devotee who thinks that they are the highest goal of human life. Here, if those devotees who think that hearing Krishna Katha is the highest goal of human life, Shraddha Danasya, for them only, their mind by hearing Krishna Katha develops eagerness to hear more and more, becomes disinterested in hearing anything else, and can meditate upon Lord's lotus feet continuously. This is the benefit of hearing Krishna Katha. Those topics bring detachment from Dharmartha Kama and Moksha also. Hearing Krishna Katha brings detachment from Dharmartha Kama Moksha. But if they produce detachment from even liberation, how can there be destruction of material life and bliss? Abhi hearing Krishna Katha is also making a person become indifferent to moksha, then how will they get liberation? For the person who has gained bliss by realizing the sweetness of the Lord, by remembrance of his lotus feet at every moment, those topics destroy the suffering of material life very quickly. But superior to moksha is getting attracted to Lord Krishna. By that, one is able to constantly meditate upon the Supreme Lord. And such topics destroy the material life very quickly. One no need to attain liberation to destroy the material life. So in that way, meditation upon the Supreme Lord, achieving constant meditation on Supreme Lord is much greater than attaining liberation. So like that it is indicated here. So it is like that. The next in couple of verses, he again elaborates on the same theme, the glories of hearing Krishna Katha. Tan soche socha navido no soche.
तान् सोचान् अविदो नु शुचे
Hare katayam vimukan agena.
हरेर्कथायां विमुखान् अघेन
Hinoti devo nimishastu yesham.
हिनोति देवो निमिषस्तु यशम्
Ayurvritavadagati smritinam.
आयुर्वितवादगति स्मृतीनाम्. Translation. O sages, O sage, persons who because of their sinful activities are averse to the topics of transcendence and thus ignorant of the purpose of the Mahabharata Bhagavad Gita are pitied by the pitiables. I also pity them because I see how their duration of life is spoiled by eternal time, while they involve themselves in presentation of philosophical speculation, theoretical ultimate goal of life, and different mode of rituals. Hare Krishna.
Here it says that I lament for the most lamentable, ignorant people who are opposed to the topics of the Lord because of offenses. Due to offense, a person becomes disinterested in Krishna Katha. So I lament for such kind of people. Time destroys the life of those who are absorbed in useless words, actions, and thought. Time destroys the lifespan of the person who simply engaged in the useless discussion of words, prajalpa, useless activities, srimaya kevalam, and useless thought process. There are three types of people related to topics of the Lord. In general, the entire population, the entire world can be divided into three groups. So those with faith on Krishna Katha, those with no faith on Krishna Katha, those who are opposite to hearing Krishna Katha. Some people are faithful, some people are innocent, some people are adamant that we don't want to hear Krishna. Krishna, no hearing. According to Bhagavatam, those people are called faithful who have conviction that bhakti is the highest process and the highest bhakti can present the highest goal, and bhakti itself is the highest goal, since it is mentioned in many verses in the Bhagavatam. According to Bhagavatam, the faithful are those who think that bhakti is the highest process and bhakti itself is the highest goal to attain. Sadhana bhakti is the highest process and prema bhakti is the highest goal in that sense. So 11th canto Lord Krishna himself says that Tavat karmani kurveta nani ravedyata yavata matkata shravana davva shraddha yavanna jayate. As long as one does not have faith on Krishna Katha, one should perform varnashram duties so that the heart becomes purified, and hence one develops faith in Krishna Katha and becomes a pure devotee. That means the purpose of performing varnashram duties is to purify heart and develop faith in Krishna Katha. Otherwise, all the varnashram duties are Shremayevi Kevalam. Vishwaksena Katasuya na Utpadayate Diratim Shremayevi Kevalam. Dharma Swanshrita Pumsha Vishwaksena Katasuya. So, whatever varnashram duties we do perform, if they do not produce Rati, desire to hear Krishna Katha, all the performance of such kind of duties is simply Shremayevi Kevalam. So, one should perform one's varnashram duties if one does not have faith on Krishna Katha, to develop faith in Krishna Katha or to increase that faith in Krishna Katha. So this is what is mentioned in the 11th canto. That means initially one should perform varnashram duty with sincerity, and then offer the results unto Supreme Lord, till the time one develops faith to hear Krishna Katha, faith and bhakti. Once one develops faith and bhakti, then one should offer the activity to Krishna and then perform the activity as an activity of bhakti. One will continue to perform varnashram duties, but he does not perform those duties as varnashram duties. He will perform all those duties as bhakti activities. So that is a transition will take place in the life of a devotee. There it is said, after becoming a devotee, still there could be many problems. How the devotee should continue with all the tackling all the problems? Jata Shraddho Matkatasu Nirvinna Sarva Karmashu Veda Dukkatmakam Kaman Parityagepi Anishvara Tato Vajita Mam Prita Shraddha Lodra Nichaya Jushamana Tan Kaman Dukkodarkam Chagarayan. Wherein Lord Krishna says in Uddhava Gita, having developed faith in topics about me and being disgusted with all karmas, he knows that all enjoyments are filled with misery, but he is unable to give them up. So, a devotee, even though becoming a devotee, practicing bhakti, also he knows that this world is filled with difficulties, very difficult to do all the activities. Still, but he cannot give them up also. Still, with affection for me, with faith and determination, he will continue worshipping me, at the same time partaking of those enjoyments which give rise to suffering and condemning them. So still he performs all the other side activities, and eventually he regrets doing those things, but he tries to correct them and continues to perform bhakti. A devotee will never give up bhakti. He will do bhakti in spite of performing some mistakes here and there. So that is the understanding. Such persons have faith that bhakti is the only process for achieving the highest spiritual goal. Those who desire to achieve dharmartha kama moksha without bhakti are the opposers. Who are the opposers? Those who say only life is meant for dharmartha kama moksha. No, no Krishna bhakti. They are opposers. The faithful are those who have faith on Krishna Katha. The faithless, the faithful are described with joy. The unfaithful are omitted. The unfaithful are not described here only. And the opposers are lamented. Those people who say that only dharmartha kama moksha is the purpose of life and nothing else, no bhakti. They are those who oppose Krishna bhakti, they are lamented. The pure devotees lament for those engaged in practice of Swarga and liberation. Dharmartha Kama is meant for going to Swarga, Moksha is meant for attaining impersonal liberation. Those who are practicing this without bhakti, they are lamented by the devotees. And they lament for those practicing karma, jnana, and yoga without bhakti. And their devotees also lament for those who are practicing karma, jnana, yoga without bhakti. So this is the understanding. The cause is their ignorance. Why people are attracted to karma, jnana, yoga and not for bhakti? The cause is their ignorance. Though they may study the scriptures, they do not understand the final meaning of the scriptures. Vedacha sarver hame vedyo. They oppose the Lord's topics because of great offense, aghena, either recent or ancient. To establish their opinions, they boldly show off their words, actions, and minds. This is criticized as useless. So, to establish their own opinion, na anyat astiti vadina, the Vedavada Ratha Partha, they say that karma is the all in all in the Vedas, no bhakti and all. Bhakti is meant for the bhavukas, not for intelligent people like us. And the intellectual people say that no, purpose of life is to practice jnana, not bhakti. So they all do not understand the actual meaning of the Vedic literatures. Like that, Vidura is saying here. Because they don't understand the real meaning of the Vedic literature, they speak about all these things here and there, etc. So that's how Vidura is actually stating this. So quickly, I'll just rush through these two verses so that the section will be over and then we'll stop for today. I have another class at 1 o'clock. So let me have some 5 minutes break in between. We will continue these two verses again in the next week, just to have continuity and just read through these two verses. In the next two verses, Vidura says that तदस्य कौशारवशरमदातुर्हरे कथायाम् अहरे कथामेव कथासु सारम् उद्धृत्य पुष्पेभ्यैवार्तबन्धो शिवाय न कीर्तयतीर्थकीर्ते. O Maitreya, friend of the suffering, Artabandho, therefore, for the auspicience of the entire world, please sing to us the topics of the purifying Lord, who bestows all auspiciousness. These are the essence of all topics, like the honey of the flower. So, like the honey is important in the flowers, like the Krishna Katha is important in all the Vedic literatures. How and why? Vasudeva Katha Prashna Purushanstin Prunatihi Vaktaram Prachakam Shrotim Tat Pada Salilam Yata. Just like Ganga, which is emptying from the lotus feet of Vamana, purify the three planetary systems, in fact 14 planetary systems. Similarly, Krishna Katha purifies three category of people: the speaker, the inquirer, the hearers. All three category people are purified by hearing Krishna Katha. Then he says that Savishwajanma Sthiti Samyamarte Kritavatara Pragrahita Shakti Chakara Karma Niyati Purushani Yanishwara Kirtayatani Mayam. He says that showing kindness to me, please describe how the Supreme Lord, endowed with power, having already appeared at the Puranas, appeared at the Purushas, three Purushas, for creating, maintaining, and destroying the universe, perform superhuman actions. After briefly answering my questions in order to satisfy me, then in detail describe about the avatars of Lord Krishna, since things should end in sweetness. Madhurena samapayet. So first describe the sweet pastimes of Srsti Lila, then describe the avatar Lila, which is very sweet to hear. Krutavatara means his appearance at the Purushas. Maya means to show mercy to me. So like that, is inquiring unto Maitreya Rishi. Maitreya Rishi, please describe about the activities of the Purushas, especially the creation, maintenance, and annihilation, and especially in the part of maintenance, please describe the sweet pastimes of Lord's various avatars. Because everything should end with sweet. Madhurena samapayet. Iti nyaya, that is the real nyaya. Whenever we invite anyone for home, for meal, we should serve everything. At the end, some sweet dish should be there. So like that. After discussing Srila, there should be sweet pastimes of various avatars. So like that. So this is how our Vidura is inspiring Maitreya to speak the pastimes of Krishna more and more. And Maitreya will respond, that we will discuss next week. So I think we'll stop here. I have another class at 1 o'clock. I will continue. So hope I did not confuse. Any questions? Hare Krishna, devotees?
No, Prabhu.
Thank you,
Okay.
Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. If there are no questions, we'll stop here with this section and we'll continue next week. The last two verses and starting a new section where initially Maitreya glorifies for his enthusiasm, glorifies Vidura for his enthusiasm to hear more and more Krishna Katha, and then speaks about Srsti Lila. Hare Krishna. We'll continue next Sunday morning.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. Yes. Your voice is breaking.
Yeah, next week we have exam.
Yes. We shall have exam for chapter 4 and then we'll continue with chapter 5. Yes, thank you.
Krishna.